It's Bruce here, Stock Markets with Bruce. Welcome to Friday, October the 8th, 2021. It's option expiry day for a bunch of you out there. Loving life here in Palm Desert. Everything about Palm Desert is there, coming true as I hoped it would, coming through as I hoped it would. Very calm weather, warm, but cooling off at night, and that is accelerating now as the days are getting shorter and the higher, the daily high temperatures are falling now under the 100s. We're now only into the high 80s, low 90s for a brief amount of time, and in the overnights we're now pushing. We're going to be pushing 60s and 50s not too long from now. It's amazing how quickly it changes here from super hot to very comfortable, and then cool. Quite nice. What's going to happen today in the markets is what you're here for, what I'm here for, trying to explain to you in plain English what's going on. We have the Dow is up 49 points, nothing dramatic, not a bad start to the day, not a great start to the day. We were looking for the job reports. Did they revise them? August payrolls 366 up from 235. That is a disappointment. I think July went up to 1,091,000 from 1,053,000, but I have a feeling that the unemployment rate at 4.8%. I'm just looking at CNBC on my TV over here. Don't mind the side of my head. Unemployment rate 4.8%. The Dow Jones futures are up 50 to 52 now. They're climbing. I think what's going on here is, yeah, there are more jobs being created in the United States. Absolutely. The problem is that we're not overheating the economy. We added 194,000 jobs. When I say we, being in the U.S. right now, the U.S. added 194,000 jobs in September. The forecasts were 500,000. Last month, it was about 235,000 that were added. The forecast was 720. And so for 2 months in a row, the U.S. is not adding the number of jobs that were forecast to be created, even though from last month to this month, they called for 200,000 fewer jobs to be created in the first place. The U.S. didn't even match that. So from 200 whatever thousand to 190,000, it's slowing down. And this is the hidden elephant in the room that is keeping policymakers awake at night, bondholders, and all kinds of interest rate watchers and economy, you name it. The American economy is what it's all about for the rest of the planet because Americans are consumers. And the consumers of this country are hungry to consume if given the opportunity. What do you think about the CEO higher ups at Spire thinking that are doing about the shorting? They're just kind of don't care because they don't know they're in it for long. There's limited stuff they can do. They can't use any company money to support the stock. They can only use their own personal money. They may be under trading restrictions. They may also be under a blackout period where they can't speak. They might be locked up and told by their lawyers, you can't comment on this. You just have to keep quiet. So it's up to the street to figure it out itself. That could be a lot of what's happening here. Big buy day next week on Spire. Maybe Wednesday or Thursday. Street will wake up the stock, hopefully buy a million shares. Paper's way too cheap to stay here too long. We may find there's 10 million shares of buying coming in on Spire today and tomorrow, today and Monday. Over the weekend, a lot of talk could be taking place, and the stock could be $8.50 Monday morning, $9 Monday afternoon. By Tuesday, Wednesday, if the shares are hitting $10, $11, if that were to happen, these shorters would get their butts handed to them because these contracts will be worth way too much money. They'll be upside down on their contracts. All of a sudden, they're down on their stock. They're down on their contracts. They are going to panic like you cannot believe. They will have to cover up, and their brokers will buy them back in. Force buying. Watch out. There could be a squeeze. I'm just saying. I read that Spire had their pipe shares unlocked, released, and Rocket Lab had the same announcement this week. Do you think that release of shares will affect Rocket Lab? Psychologically, there's this thing, psychologically, but in reality, in practice, whatever the shares do, whatever releases there are, will make no difference to the companies as a whole. These guys, Rocket Lab and Spire, are in the space business. Hot, mega hot, unbelievable demand for their services. Rocket Lab has back orders going way back. They're cranking out a rocket every 20 days. They're all spoken for. Every rocket they're producing for the next 2 years has been pre-ordered already. I bet you the next 5 years production is sold out for Rocket Lab. They'll up their production capability to produce them quicker. Sold out. Spire will handle the information, all the data, up and down, and in between satellites. Spire is up to here in contracts, just behind. They're on such a growth curve, these guys, and they're dealing with government agencies along with private customers. So these guys have already passed the smell test for governments. They're so far ahead of anyone who wants to get into this business. If anyone wants to come in from the outside, you've got to go through so many layers of due diligence with government agencies to be able to even to talk to these people about helping them out. These shares are so oversold and are so potentially manipulated by the uninitiated. I would not bet against these guys. I just wouldn't do it. I don't think it's a good idea. Anytime I try to talk to people about the markets, they say it's manipulated, it's rigged. Well, I mean, by extension, so is being a consumer buying anything, right? So why not invest? You know, those of you who are watching me full time, you're probably noticing that if you talk to relatives, friends, coworkers, casual people who hear that you're investing in the market, they want to talk to you about it, you're going to find that 9 out of 10 people you talk to are going to think you're nuts. They're going to think you're out of your mind. They're just not going to. Some will verbally tell you you're crazy. Some will think it. But I can tell you, you might be wasting your time trying to convert anyone into doing what it is you do or believing in what you believe in. Because if they don't understand the intricacies of the markets, they don't understand the psychology of the markets, they're never going to get it. And I can tell you that these are the kind of folks that when they do make an investment, they are irrational investors. And irrational investors make you money. That's the bottom line right there, because you wait out the win. They don't. And that's just the way it is. Spire got bought by, say, Boeing or someone like that, and you had a long Spire calls. What happens? Well, depending on the price, AB, if Spire got bought out at $25 a share, and you've got $15 call options, they're $10 in the money. Those shares will trade at 25 a share pretty quickly. And your contracts will trade at between $10 and $11. No matter what you paid for them, you're probably ahead on it. If you're sitting on Spire 750s, you're $17.50 in the money. You're doing just fine. Thank you very much. Folks, check out stockmarkerswithbruce.ca, catch a lesson 2 or 3 or 4 or 10, and become a little smarter than others. You only need to be smarter than half of the market players.